Alrighty, hello. Welcome back, welcome one, welcome all. Back to the study session here in my room. I appreciate you guys joining me again. Oh, here we go. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today is Thursday, April the 3rd, 2025, and we are back again working on our CS50X final project. We are hopefully going to complete the transactions tab today, or the income statement rather, my bad. And that'll be that. That's what we're going to work on today. We got a lot of work to get done today, so we've got to keep going on this project. I want to get this done. Okay, let's get going. Okay, let's get going here. Let's get some tunes loaded up. Let's get this show on the road. All right. All right, let's get going here. Okay, we are working on the income statement tab. Our goal here is to, okay, this function is not working properly. Hey, Shackzoid, how's it going? Welcome back. How you doing? Okay. So our goal is we now need to write functions to fetch this data and populate, right? Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so create income statement. Fetch this. Okay. So these are our functions here that we're going to need to write here. Okay. So in this function, we're going to need to have def fetch gross sales, right, given some year. We're going to need to have def fetch sales transport given some year. We're going to need to fetch allowances given some year. And we're going to need to, I need to put my desk down a little bit. Oh, it's all the way down. All right, we're going to need to pass here, and we're going to have def fetch fees given some year, and then we're going to have def fetch discounts given some year. Okay. Then we're also going to have def fetch cost of goods sold given some year. And we're going to have to do another one last function, def fetch income statement expenses given some year. Okay. Okay, so we'll say for this one, this will be, okay, so gross sales so we need to self.db, self.db, wait. Self.db. Oh, we gotta pass self in, that's right. Okay, what do we want to execute? We need to go into our income statement tab, our transactions tab, and select right, so we'll say select all, select sum of item amount from transactions where date equal to this, and we'll provide the date for the year here. So let's go here. I'll say if I am using SQLite 3 and wanting to query the DB for a DB for the sum of a column where another column is some partial value. How can I express the partial value? You can use the like operator with the wildcard % in your SQL query. For example, if you want to sum the amount in a column where the category contains a partial value, you can do select sum amount from your table where category like where category where date like. So if I am displaying dates in year, month, day, and want to match just to the year, the first 4 chars. Oh, okay. Where like quote, I like this one. This one's a good song. Inside we'll put the quote here. We need to put that there and then say % here. So select some item amount from transactions where date like this. So let's see if it likes that. Oh. sum from where date like question mark. Oh, so you say date like question mark, and then you use, oh, okay, so you can go like this. You can go f string, input the value of year, and then put the percentage outside like that. Okay. Cool. So basically we'll do the same thing. So for the transportation charge, we're going to do the same thing, right? So this is going to equal to, we're going to give dot fetch all here. That'll fetch all. We say this is going to be gross sales in year. If gross sales in year, return gross sales in year, else raise value error. We'll say else return 0. So this will get all the gross sales in the year. Which is currently in our database is being as sent, so we need to go we don't need to say fetch all because this isn't giving us row items, this is giving us a data point back. So if return, so if there's 0, so we'll just return that value back. Hey, Tim. I just don't like leak code that much. You guys are, you guys like the leak code grind. I like building projects. Way better. Leak code pretty boring. And honestly, doesn't seem that useful in real world applications. So I don't really want to spend that much time on it, to be honest. Apart from interviews, it just seems kind of pointless. Okay. Fetch gross sales. Item amount from transaction where date like to this. Return that. So now we need to do this. Fetch sales transport. We'll take this. Put this here. Gross sales transport. Sales transport in year, given self. Hey, Solakin, how you doing, dude? Thanks for coming in. Awesome to hear from you again. Hope you haven't given up on C. Honestly, no, I haven't. I just don't really know what to do with it. Like, you know, it just seems like, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to give it another try when we get into some more like deeper level after we complete this course and get this out of the way. I've been saying that forever, but it's true. Once we complete this course and get it out of the way, then we can maybe dive back into C and getting in some more deeper level, like I don't know, hardware manipulation or something. Whatever it entails, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. What should I do with it? What should I do in C? It seems like, I don't know, every idea I have, I'm just like, well, I'll just do it in Python because it's just easier. Yeah, I think this project will be a good resume tool too. So we return those. So we're going to select the transportation charge. From transactions where date like this. And return that. Okay, we'll fetch allowances. So I currently don't have anything for this. So we'll just pass. Fetch fees. So this is going to be the same thing as this one here. Got to give self here. Fees in year. Select some fees. Yeah, fee from transaction where date like that. Return fees in year. This is going to be the same thing for discounts. Discounts in year, given self. Right, select some discount from transactions where date like, return discounts in year. Cost of goods sold. Okay, so now we need to go like this. Cost of goods sold in year, given self. So this is what we're going to need to do. Is for this one, we need to query all of the item numbers. So we need to get all item ID, right? For items for transactions in year, right? So that's our first thing. So we need to go item ID sold in year. Okay, so we'll go database, select item ID from transactions where date like this, and we're going to do .fetch all, so we get all of them wrapped in this variable. Those are all the item IDs. So we say then we'll need to, what do we need to do next? We need to one sec. Hey Prax, welcome in, dude. Good for you to make it early this time. Thanks for coming in again. How you doing, ma'am? Snacking on some pretzels here. How you guys doing? Welcome in. We're working on our CS50X final project. We're hoping to get this done hopefully within a week, I think. That's my goal. Releasing this today. Now we got a whole nother tab to create too. So not today, hopefully within a week though. Soon, Tim. I've been baiting you guys for long enough. So we got to get all the item IDs for the transactions in the year. And then once we have the item IDs, we need to get the cost from inventory. Right, so now given item ID, get cost for item from inventory. Okay, so now we have to say cost of goods sold in year is equal to self.db.execute quote select sum of cost, right? So in the inventory, we have a cost here. So let's select sum of cost. From inventory, where ID in this, and then we'll go item ID sold in year. Okay, let's see if it likes this one. Do you see any errors with my syntax? Yes, there are a couple of issues. Okay, oh well. Incorrect parameter passing in the like clause. Correctly as a tuple. Oh. Like this. Then I guess we don't need to fetch. Oh. Notice the comma, make it a tuple. Is a list of tuples from fetch all, not a list of IDs. You should extract the values before passing them. The in clause should dynamically generate placeholder string. So like fetch all item IDs. Okay, so once there's, so this is a list of tuples, so we have to say item IDs is equal to a list comprehension of what did it say? It said row 0 for row in item IDs. Construct a parameterized query dynamically. We're in placeholders. Comma, quote, quotation mark, comma, question mark, times the length. Extract device, fetch all, returns a list of tuples. You need to unpack the list. SQL uses the question mark as placeholder. We're in. Oh, so you're joining commas and question marks together times the amount of IDs. Does the in not work for a Python list? A single value rather than a list. So we'd have to give, to go. Item IDs in. I'm passing this directly, so I'll just put in item IDs here. Like that, right? Ooh, hold on, caps lock is stuck again. Hey, Ajish, thanks for coming in. Yeah, I finished Harvard CS50P already. Nice, Prax. What you working on? Thanks for coming in, dude. Okay. Does this not work? Your code has syntax issue in the in-class passing item IDs directly. Places a Python list in the SQL, this results in invalid SQL statement. SQL doesn't recognize list syntax like this. The execute expects a query parameters separately. So it wants me to do this join thing. Select cost of goods sold. Okay, so you have to do, so placeholder, like it said, quote, comma, dot join. We're gonna join a question mark times the length of item IDs. We're gonna insert into here placeholder, right, and then pass in the item IDs, right? So then they fetch 1. And they index 0. Because you're going into you're fetching 1 in a list and returning the only value in that list. So, and then is that it? Is that all I wanted? Else return 0. So if right here, so if not item ID sold in year, return 0 right off the jump. Okay. So next, what we need to do is we need to fetch the income statement expenses. So what this will do, let's make sure it likes it. Do you like this? Single tuple. Instead of pass item IDs directly as a flat tuple. Oh, okay. Because it's an iterable in itself. Okay. And then is that it? Okay. So now we need to fetch the income statement expenses, right? So let's do this. So expenses in year is equal to self dot db dot execute quote. We're gonna say select a sum of, so this is gonna be just gonna be similar to this one up here. So we can just put this here, bring this back. This is going to be expenses in year. So select sum of the, so we go to the expenses tab, amount, cost, and expenses. Yeah, cost. From expenses, where date like this, okay, and then return. So this will say dot fetch 1 index of 0. So we need to put this on here, on here, on here. Okay, cool. So now we have that. If discounts in year, else 0. I'll just say, actually, we just return it right off the bat. Okay, so now right? This is the create income statement function. So now we have these calls that are doing this information for us. So then we need to populate the income statement. So we'll go self dot add so we'll say actually self dot db dot execute, go insert into income statement. We'll say that for our income statement, we have year, gross sales, transport, allowances, fees, discounts, and then cost of goods sold and expenses. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values and 8 given a year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we say values right of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We need to add in now a tuple for all of these. So gross sales, transport, allowances, fees, discounts, cost of goods sold, and expenses. Okay, that'll insert all of those values into the database. Okay, so now what we should do, let's go to our income statement page here. And let's add in at the top this is currently what our program looks like. So we need to add in at the top here, basically like add year, right? Or like we need to have some sort of button to
care about people, but because of, I guess, how people will come at him.
How should we do this?
I almost want him to give them beats without regard.
I kind of want to add it at the bottom, like a. Okay, let's do it. Let's add it at the bottom, I guess. So in our income statement, we have load all income statements into matrix, which calls fetch income statements all. We have to give a year though. So for right now, if I say here self dot, or I'm already calling load all income statements into matrix, and then calling load all income statements into matrix here, which is here. All income statements equals to a fetch income statements all, clear, populate. Right, so right now there is no query. So this is fetching all from our database of income statements. So then what should I do here? How should I get it to auto populate with what's there? So, because we're not adding in items. It just needs to come up with the stuff, right? Yeah, this is our CS50X final project, Joseph. Thanks for coming in. This is what it currently looks like so far. We've written it all in Python from scratch. We're working on the income statement right now. So we need to populate this. So when I run the income statement tab on launch, it loads the income statements into matrix, which queries for all of these fetches. Just some more of those Dots pretzels from Costco, Tim. So how do I want to do this? Right, I'm calling load all into matrix. Which fetches from a database. Well, there's nothing currently in our database. So how can I call to create an income statement on this current year? Well, I'm gonna have to do that. So we'll have to go self.database.create income statement. Let's just give it the year of 2025 for right now. And let's see what happens. Let's hard put that in. Okay. Now let's run and see what happens. Ready? Get our error indicator up here. See what happens. Error. Incorrect number of bindings applied. There are 5 supplied. What does this mean? The error message is pointing to the SQL query inside fetch sales transport. The issue, the execute method expects a tuple of parameterized queries, but your tuple only has one item. Right now, year is not a tuple, it's a string. Okay. So let's go back into here. This is in the create income statement for fetch sales transport. Pass in, I think so. Okay. So now if we run appy, Fetch allowances take one, but two are given. Here. Okay. So self.fetch allowances. Right now I'm saying pass because I've done this. We need to give self here. Now if we run @py. Okay, error near. So second argument it doesn't. If item IDs is listed, then IDs is. If item ID is a list or tuple, then item IDs. Single back the fix. To properly pass into the use placeholders for each item and unpack items. Oh, I have to unpack items. Placeholder. So it says to cost of goods sold in a year is equal to execute query tuple of item IDs. Oh, because it doesn't want to list. Okay, so then can I just create a generator comprehension rather than a list comprehension? So here, can I just do this? And then go here. Type generator has no length. Oh, because it's a generator. So I have to go like this, and then go length. Then I have to pass in a tuple on item IDs. What's this going bad at? It's obviously on this tuple part. Not there.
For relaxing times, make it Centauri time.
Why doesn't it like this? There's small syntax here, misplaced parentheses. So the placeholder needs to be wrapped in parentheses. Okay, so if I say in placeholder, right? So I enter in here, I close here, I wrap them. Do I go like this? No. Then let me just do this. Let me take my query out. Put that there. Put in query here. What is going on? query, comma, tuple item IDs. There we go. Okay, so if we go appy, run. The current send is applied. The current incorrect number of bindings supplied. The current statement uses 8, but there are 7 supplied. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because we're putting in a year here. Okay, so let's go back to here. When you put in the year here, appy, run. SQLite cursor is not supported. Right, it's a string actually. So I go here. Parameter SQLite not supported. Interpreter is a go-to project? What does you mean interpreter? Like it's not supported in case you're trying to pass it. This happens if one of your variables. What's a cursor object? Oh, okay. So which one is it? Okay, so in here, fetch 1. This is passing, so we just return 0. Here. Discounts, got it. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, we got it to launch here. Okay, we got it to launch. Let's see, do we have? Yo, we got something here. Let's go. Woohoo! Okay, so we have, okay, well, let's go like this. Well, to test this, let's go like this. Let's go to our database file here. Let's exit out of this. Let's go here. Let's delete from transactions, run. Let's delete from inventory, run. Let's delete from expenses, run. And let's delete from income statement. Okay, so now our database should be empty. Perfect. So if I run appy, there's nothing there. not null, constraint failed, income statement, gross sales. Okay, gross sales, return gross sales, if gross sales in year, else 0. If sales transfer in year, else 0. Return 0. If fees in year, else 0. If discounts, else 0. Got it. If expenses, else 0. Okay, so let's run now. Okay, we got it to run. And it should be empty. Okay. All right, boys, here we go. Now is the chance. So we are creating it for 2025. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test this. If we add an item to inventory, can we get a boom? 2025-03-04-03 description, test, size, medium cost. Let's say this costs $10. Add item. There it is. Okay. So if I go ahead and sell this item, then it should populate $10 for gross sales, or however much we sell it for, and then the cost of goods sold should be $10. Here we go. Let's try it out. Ready? Transactions. Now we will have to refresh and load because we don't have like a refresh button to refresh this anywhere. So we are going to need to do that. So if I go ahead and do transactions, let's go date 04/03/2025, ID 1, item amount we sold for was, let's say it's $20. So our net profit is going to be whatever, it should be 10 or whatever. So sales platform, Instagram, shipping, there was $5 in a shipping charge. Let's say that there was a $1 fee and a $1 discount with no note. Let's commit this transaction. Invalid date. 2025-04-03. Commit transaction. Boom. There's our sale. Okay. So we sold the item for $20. We added on a $5 transportation fee for shipping, so $25, less a $1 fee, so $24, less a $1 discount, so $23. There is the transaction total auto-computed for us. Now, if we go over to income statement, nothing should have updated, okay? But if I go ahead and exit and reload here, just by how it's currently formatted, ooh. Okay, so in our database, we have an income statement generated right here. So because we already have a 2025, so if we say create income statement, right? If we say create income statement, we have a fetch gross sales. So if Okay, so if the year is already if the year given is already within the income statement table, we need to update, not insert. Okay. So if year in current income statement years, then we're going to do this. So, but update income statement column. So then we'll need to query for the years, right, is equal to self dot db dot execute quote select year from income statement. We'll do dot fetch all. Okay. We then need to say years is equal to a list comprehension where we'll say year or row for row in current income statement years, right? So that'll do a list comprehension and convert all those tuple years into an actual just list. If the year is in this, then we'll update, else we'll execute. Right. So let's see what it says about that. How do you like that? Looks like you're trying to update and insert a row of your income statement, but current income statement years is a list of tuples, as you should. The if condition now checks if the year is in the list years. Oh yeah, I meant that. Update income statement set. Okay, so you have to use the set. So update income statement set year equal to set gross sales value equal to this, and sales transport equal to this, and allowances equal to this, right? And fees equal to this, and discounts equal to this, and cost of goods sold equal to the variable, and lastly expenses equal to the variable with these values provided. Where year equals this. Okay, so if I don't need this, where year equals to this, we put in gross sales year. If years is in years, we'll update the income statement and set gross sales equal to the gross sales, sales transport, allowances, fees, discounts, cost of goods sold, expenses, where year is equal to that. Okay, I like that. Okay, so you had to use the set, not update. You should use commas, not ands. Oh, okay, I thought you used and. Oh, use and when for checking. Right. Where year? Okay. So now if we run this, ready? Now this should work because we're calling create table for 2025. Okay, so if I run, no such table income, statement we need to have. Statement. Okay, now ready? Unique constraint failed income statement dot year. So I select year. Select year from income statement dot fetch all. Let me say years, row next 0 for row in current income statement years. If year in years, update else. So in our income statement, we have 2025 is still in there. Right, so we're giving a year quote 2025. Why is it getting hit with the insert into? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm saying it's in there then. So let me say $2025, but it's an integer. Oh, okay, that's why. So my inventory class is giving the year back as an integer. So we're going to say stir row 0. Right. Oop. So stir row 0. So now if we get rid of this print, or if we keep the print and run, it works now. Perfect. Yo, okay, let's see. Did it do it right? Let's figure it out. Okay, so, all right, so now it updated for that year. Graduated high school midstream, dude. Post that in the Discord. Big props to you, dude. Congrats, everybody. Round of applause. Finger snaps for Prax. Really appreciate him coming in here and day after day, working on, Prax, it's just goes to show the hard work you're putting in day after day, coming in, using the stream as a study, not just as a study session, right? You can use it just as if we were hanging out in the library and college, booking a study room. So just if you're finding yourself having trouble, committing every day to studying, and you're wanting to do something, not even a similar path, but just bettering yourself through education and setting aside the time and not procrastinating anymore, then use this stream as an opportunity to hold yourself accountable, work alongside me with whatever you're doing, converse in the chat, ask questions for, or converse about what you're working on, and, talk through it, and it really helps to, improve on things quite quickly. But yes, congrats, dude. Okay, so let's check on this. Okay, so inventory. We have an inventory item of a cost of 10, okay, that we sold. Okay, so transactions, 2025. We sold this item. Oh, sorry, we have an inventory we bought for $10. We've sold inventory ID item number 1 for $20, right? We then have an additional $5, so a $23 total transaction, okay? So if I go to the income statement, okay, gross sales is $20 because that is the sum of the transactions for the item amounts, okay? The sales transport is $5 summed because that's $5. The fee and discount are both reporting $1, right? Am I converting? Oh, I am, okay. Okay. The cost of goods sold is now being shown as $10, which is being pulled from here. Yeah. The gross margin is $13 because that is the net sales less cost of goods sold. So that's how much our gross margin is. Our expenses is 0 so far. So our net income is $13. Ah, woohoo! All right, we have $20 in gross sales, plus the transportation charge of $25, less any allowances, less fees, less discounts equals $23. Less cost of goods sold equals 13. Less expenses equals net income. Hey, Jeremy, dude. Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, so we just really tied things together here, you guys. This was a really kind of monumental stream of tying together all 3 of our tabs here, right? We are querying for information off of the inventory, the cost of items located at these years for these income statements. We are querying for expenses at these years. So let's go ahead and do that. 2025-04-03. Let's add a test expense here. Cost for this expense was, let's say, $5. Category, let's just say that this was equipment. Equipment. Method was cash, or we'll say credit, and add that expense. Now, if I come here and I refresh, right, I'll need to add a refresh button or something, or have a function update live. Boom, come back in, income statement. Now we should have that expense logged right there. Now expenses is now showing that $5. Woohoo! Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. It's so awesome. Isn't this sick? Okay, so now we're showing $5, right? Woohoo! Okay, so what I need to do is I can go about this 2 ways now. So now we can kind of start finishing up this tab. Like, that's kind of all the information we need to report on this tab is this information here. So, but we need to do this for every year that the business has been open, right? So how do we come up with that? Well, we need to basically query the database for all unique years, basically. So we're going to have to, right? we're going to have to query the database and append into or add into a set all of the years across inventory, expenses, because those are going to be the two indicators for when the business was generated, right? So now what we could do actually is we could, on initially adding items, we could try to add them to a set just right then and there, as well as expenses for the years. So we don't have to ever query. We can just automatically have those happening in constant time. We don't even have to do a function call. Yeah, we're using SQLite database here. So I switched up from our previous 1.0 version, and now we're running everything through SQLite database here. Expenses, income statement, inventory, and transactions. So what we can do is within the let's go here. So let's break this down. So within the inventory tab, right? When we add an item to inventory, we want to extract the year from this date purchased. Year is equal to date purchased. No, we don't want to do that here. We want to do it after the check. So this is the date purchased check. We say year is going to be equal to date purchased slice up to 4. So we're going to take the first 4 characters of our year, of our date purchase, which will be the year. We are then going to go so we passed in the business. So in my business class as well, let's go ahead and add in a attribute here called self.years, and this is going to be equal to a set, right? So should we create a set? Right, and then we can come down here and go case, quote, years, just do the save, self.years is equal to value provided here. So then what we can do here is go to inventory tab, go here, go self.business. We're not passing in the business here. We need to pass in the business. Right, so we'll pass in the business to the inventory function, or the inventory tab, and we'll go self.business is equal to dot years is equal to dot add year. So add the year to the business years set. Right? So then we'll go into app.py into our inventory tab, and we'll pass in business equals to business. App.business. Right? So that passes that in. Self.business equals to business, right? So now what we're doing is we are adding in, right, the year, and adding that business to the year, right? And then what we can do is that'll keep all unique years. So then in our expenses class or tab, we'll do the same thing, right? We're already passing in business. So on the add expense, right? Add expense, this is the entry. So this is add expense to expenses. We get, so date here, year is equal to date slice up to the 4th character. And then we'll do self dot business dot add or dot years dot add year into that. Okay, so now if I go like this and run, oh, how can you main? Okay, so what we're gonna have to do is so on this load here, so in our business class, when we're doing the save, this is where we're getting the error here. We can't serialize, right? Dump this. So what we need to do is we need to convert it to a list. So I'll say self dot years equals to list self dot years. And then that'll dump all of those values back. And when you read, you set years. In the case of years, for value, for val in value, so we have years is equal to set here. Years set. So years set is equal to set for val and value. Years set dot add value, and then we go self dot years is equal to years set. So now if we run, okay, now we get 2025. Then if I go to business class, if I go to the business JSON, years is a blank list. So now if let's go ahead and reset our program. So here, let's copy this, delete from inventory. Let's delete from expenses. Let's delete from transactions. And let's delete from income statement. Let's commit that. Okay. Now if we run @py, okay. And then if we add in 2025-04-03 description, test, size, medium, cost, 10, add. Now let's add in an item from 2024. Add. Okay, there are items. Let's add an expense now from 2023. Okay, now if I exit, well, if I exit, it's not saving again ever. Right, so there's nothing here because we're calling save at the very beginning. Because we're saving like you would on exit. Right, so if I exit out, there's nothing in years. And then we're not actually loading any years in. So we're not calling the save business again. Mahan, yeah, dude. Projects take time, my friend. We gotta put in the time to finish it if we ever expect to get it done. Tim likes the lectures. Should we do another CS50 course? We could do the SQL course or something. But no, we gotta keep moving on this project. We gotta put in the hours on it. Plus, coding projects is good. Case years, we add. So we're not currently saving the business file, right? So this should. Right, because we're calling save and then read on launch. So what if I call business.save file after every add? So I go to my inventory tab. On my add, on success, I go self.business.save business. Right, and then on the expense, I'll do the same thing. So after you add the expense, you save the business. Okay, so then let's go to our business manager here. Let's clear out our data. start fresh, launch. Okay, so if I add in a date 2025-04-03, test, size medium, cost is 10. If I add that, okay, now my business JSON should have saved. There it is. Perfect. So now, if I go 2025, well, if I do a different item now, will that hurt me? This object has no attribute add. Why is it still a list? We're converting to a list, saving as a list on read. Oh. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's just save it as a list. Let's say we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. Right? Then we say in the expenses tab, we're going to get the date. If year in self dot business dot years. So if it's not in, we're going to do self dot append year. Okay, so then we'll take this, go to our expenses tab, and then if we go here, we want to go, what that was, inventory tab then. Paste this here. If year not in self.business.years, self.years.append year. Okay. So now if I run, okay, let me clear out actually all the other stuff. Okay, appy, run. 2025-04-03, test, medium, 10. We add that gets added in, and we look here, we have 2025 there, okay? So now if I change this to 2024, it should allow us to do it, add, there's 2024. Now if I go to expenses, if I try to add a new thing for like 11 on 2024, it adds the item, but does not add another duplicate year. Perfect. Then if I go expenses 2023-04-03 test cost 10 category equipment method cash add, there's 2023. Okay, so then if I exit this, relaunch, I'll have income statements for all 3 years. No, because I'm hard coding in now. So let me go here to now let's go to the business manager. Okay. So in the business manager, we're going to go ahead and call in the income statement tab, right? We are hard coding in here. we want to put in here right, self.business.years, right? And then in the business, right, or sorry, in the DB manager, we are creating an income statement, right? And our goal here we're calling create income statement. Fetch income statement tries to get all the income statements from there. So why was I only getting the 2025? Because I had a hard coded in on create income statement for business years. Create income statement here, given a year. Given a year's list. So say for year in years. Given a years, for year in years. If year is in year, we're updating. So now if I run calls create income statement, which inserts them. Then we call fetch. We call load, which calls fetch all income statements. So now if we run @py, now we should have 3 income statements. No. Years is empty. Oh. Okay, so our years is currently empty because in our business class, we're setting years to equal the value saved in the file. But it's initially an empty list here. So if I go to my DB, run that. If I add in an item, 2025-03-0, test, size medium, cost 10. If I add that and add in a 2024, add income statements blank. Now if I run @py again, income statement is still blank because our years is not updating. So let me go back to here, go here, clear it, @py, run. Let me open up this guy here and see if we're getting years still. You're still getting, then when I close, it's there. So then when I load, so I have them there. I have the year there. So now when I call DB manager or business class and I read the business, I open the file, I set the years equal to the value. So if I open this up simultaneously and run @py, my years gets cleared. Why is my years being cleared? So I'm running save business. I'm calling save business. I'm calling save business, which opens up the file and dumps all of the value, the dictionary. I open up the file and dump onto the JSON, onto this file, all the contents of the dictionary, which happened to be a blank thing at first. Okay. But if this I don't get why are our years disappearing? Now we have a year there, but why is it disappearing on launch? So when I call save, which takes the current version of our self object in memory and dumps it onto the JSON. So if I read, I open up this, I load all content. I save the case as years. I set the years inside the JSON to the value of self.years. So I wonder why that's happening. I don't know. Ordering either of those is criminal if you're doing DoorDash. So we're dumping the current dictionary So what's happening with this read? We're opening. Case here, self.here. This is none. I go over to here, clear this, run @py, move this over. Nudge type not iterable. No. It has to be a list. Chipotle, I go double white rice, black beans, steak, fajita veggies, double corn, mild, medium, sour cream on the side, and cheese on top. That's the order. So why are years being overrode? Calling save. So at every instance we're saving, which is what it's doing, and then why is it on launch? Calling save, which, oh, because we're creating a new blank business. Right, because we're calling save. So let me go like this. Let me take this file. Let me go here to this, clear it out. Go here to @py. Let's just, we're gonna have to just take off the save. Right, and so now if we go @py here, this has to be a list. Okay, so we have nothing in there. Okay, so now in there, there's no years. So I go inventory, add 2025, 04, 03, test, size medium, cost 10, add, there, it's in. Now if I change this to 4, add, it's in. If I exit, that stays. Now if I relaunch, what's it printing? It's printing years here. Get rid of that. If I look at this, perfect. Now we have income statement for 2024. So if we the create income statement will update for those values. And then load all into matrix. So can I put on here, does the income statement tab itself does it have a command? It's supering from this TT key frame. Right, parent. Add. Pound. Text equals text. So then can I go here on the inventory tab or income statement tab? Can I provide? No, I can't provide a command. Can you provide a command param on a click for a decanter tab in a notebook? Notebook changed event, which triggers the tab when the tab is selected. Huh. Yeah, SS low, this is really awesome, huh? So it takes it to a whole nother game, huh? It's pretty cool. Okay, so what happened if I go here and I add in an expense for 2023, description, test, 10, category, equipment, cash, credit, note, none, add expense, invalidate. Add expense, there it is. Okay, now if I refresh this, our 2023 income statement should be there. There it is, negative $10. Oh, okay, sweet. All right, so now we just need to have a function that will, when we add items to inventory or expenses or create transactions, we need to update the income statement for that given year, right? So let's go ahead and do so. So what we'll do is we'll go in here. This will be the last step, and I think we're done for today on working on this. Okay, so, or at least on this page too, in general. So what we'll do is when we come here to the inventory tab on add item, on the success of an add item, right, we're going to go and call self dot database dot create self dot database. Where's my database? DB manager. Create income statement given the years. All right, so this will create income statement given year in a list, right? So that'll create the income statement for that, you update it, right? Because the create also does an update feature for it. So then what we'll do is we'll call self dot so in our income statement tab, we have load all income statements into the matrix. So we'll need to go into the inventory tab. We'll have to pass in we can't pass in the transactions tab. Oh crap. The thing is I can't pass in this income statement tab. It comes later on. Right? I don't think I can. Maybe. Okay. Okay, so then here in the inventory tab, we need to pass in the income statement tab, self.income statement tab goes to the income statement tab. Okay, and then down here in our add, we call self.income statement tab dot, what is it? Load income statement matrix. Load all income statements onto matrix. Right. So now I'll take these two functions and apply them to the expenses page at the exact same place. And go into here and do income like so. So now if I clear out our database, start fresh, yeah. If I am creating windows using Tkinter classes and one window is created after the other, how can I still pass in the second window into the first to gain access to its contents? So I am getting an unbound local error because of order. Combination. How can I still load in window 2 into window 1 when window 1 comes first? Window can be initialized. Using top level to create. Right, so I'm going to show it this example here. Or once you pass around, an income statement tab should be initialized after other tabs you have initialized last. Listing tabs as arguments. Create tab window inventory. Initialize tabs in the correct order. Start by creating the inventory tab. You don't have dependencies on other tab. I need the inventory tab to take in the income statement tab. Good follow pattern. Income statement tab is getting the What am I using these for? So let's go to the income statement. Am I calling these anywhere else? Tab. No, I'm not calling these anywhere else. So let's look up inventory. Okay, so I'm not sure why I'm passing these in then. Transactions. No, so I'm not using these at all actually. So let me get rid of those. Get rid of these. Go into here. We're going to take our income statement tab, remove these parameters, populate this out and up here. Right? The inventory tab takes in the income statement tab, so does the expense tab, and the transactions takes in the inventory tab. And the balance sheet will take in everything probably. Okay, so now if we run, so now income statement's coming first though. Now the income statement comes first in the order of visual display. I want to maintain the passing in, but I don't want it to be listed first in the GUI. To maintain passing of rights while ensuring the income statement is not listed first in the GUI, we can achieve this by doing this. Initialize the income statement tab first so it's past the inventory tab, adding the tabs in the desired order. Okay, so then tab control.add all of those. Right now I'm doing that my parent is just adding. Okay, so let me remove the parent ads here. Across the income statement, the inventory tab, and the expense tab, and the balance sheet, and the settings tab. And let me put those into here as tab control.add inventory tab text equals to quote inventory. Bring this down, we'll add in the expenses tab. This is expenses. This is going to be the transactions tab. Transactions. This is going to be the income statement tab. Income statement. And this is going to be the balance sheet tab. Balance sheet. And then lastly, settings tab. Right, so now if we run, perfect. Now the order is maintained and the additions are good. So now let's go ahead. We have income statements in there, which they shouldn't be. Because years is cleared. Okay, so let's go here, go to our small business manager here. Let's clear out our database. AppPy, run. So when I do this, I create income statement table on here and I load. So in the inventory tab, when I add, right, I do the database create income statement for that year, and then I do the income statement tab load. And I do that for the expenses tab as well. Right here. Okay, so now if we ran that, so if we go here, everything's empty. Go here, AppPy, run. So it's still generating years. So our let's close out of some of this stuff. So our business info is saving this. So let's clear this out at the start. Okay, now we're here. Everything's blank. Okay, perfect. Let's go transaction. Let's. Oh, so now the transactions is still coming first. What? There we go. App high, run. There we go. Inventory, expenses, transactions, income statement, balance sheet, settings. Perfect. Inventory 2025-04-03. Description, test, size, medium, cost 10. We add that, boom. And a year gets added to our years here. Hey, Script Serpent. Hey, Tim. Welcome back in, you guys. You guys are here, part of the late night crew. Consider leaving a like on the stream for the grind here. Really appreciate you guys coming in. So that updated that, but didn't populate cost of goods sold because nothing that wasn't sold. So now if I transact that item, or if I go here and I load in an item from 2024 now, I should get a blank income statement for 2024. Add. Boom. Perfect. Okay. So now if I sell item number 1 from 2025 for 20 bucks on Instagram, shipping, charges, let's say it's $5 with a 00 and no note, commit that transaction. Boom. Now I go to income statement, it should auto load here. Boom. 2025, no. Oh. So we didn't add this to the transactions either. So when you commit a transaction, right, when you commit a transaction, so let's go to our income statement here. Or sorry, our inventory. Right, we do this. So in the transaction, in app.py, the transactions tab is going to also take in the income statement tab. Okay, transactions tab is going to take in that, right? Okay, and then in transactions, when we make a transaction, getting a date for this transaction. We're getting the item ID. What do we need to pass in here? What are we missing is the when you transact an item, it needs to populate this for the year of that item that was transacted. So we'll need to get the year of this item. So in transactions tab, we have item ID is equal to this, right? We need to say year item year acquired equals to self.database.execute quote select so in our business our DB manager we're getting a year. Okay, so we'll go like this. Item date equals to this. Select in our database we have inventory date purchased. So we'll say select in the transactions tab, select date purchased from inventory where ID is equal to this with a placeholder here of item ID. Okay, we say item year acquired is equal to item date sliced up to the first 4 characters so that's the year of the item. So then after we successfully add the transaction, right, on load here, so here we're going to put those few things. So in the inventory tab we have this. And take this, paste it right here. Self.database create income statement given this year. Where did you go? Item year acquired. Okay, so now if we go here, go to our DB manager, clear out all of our current values, run app up high, right? Nothing is in here except for this here because we have 2 years in there previously. So let's delete this like we're starting from fresh. App high. Now we're in. Okay. Let's add an inventory item 2025-04-03. Test size medium, cost is 10. Hey Tushar, what's going on? Hey Edwards, thanks for coming in, dudes. Sorry I missed your chats. So now we added the item. Now is it reporting to the income statement? No, because nothing should be reporting the income statement because we haven't sold this item. Right, so in the inventory tab, we don't need to do this one, self.income statement tab, right? We don't need to do any of this. Create. So we actually don't need to do any of this because the inventory tab only takes in items. And until those items are sold, they're not reported on the income statement. Unsold items are reported on the balance sheet. So we can remove this. And then I don't even think we need to get this year. Oh yeah, we do, because we have to append it. That we're getting the years here, which is fine. So we can do the same thing to the expenses. So we'll remove this entirely. Now, when you create an expense, you do report it on the income statement. So you do have to create an income statement for that year or update and then load it into the matrix. But when you sell items, then they're reported on the income statement. Okay, so then let's go here to our information. Let's quit this. Let's reload and let's go here. Let's go to our JSON and delete this 2025 and run. Okay. Now we have inventory. Let's look. So when we add the inventory item, nothing should populate for income statement. Right. 2025-04-03 test medium sized cost of 10. When I press this, nothing happens for income statement. The income statement only updates when you sell items or generate expenses. So let's go ahead and add the item. It's added. If we go to our business JSON, we'll see that that year was added. Perfect. But our income statement did not do anything. Perfect. Okay, if I go ahead and transact said item, so let's go ahead and make an expense for 2025 then. Right? So if I add this, it will update the income statement, giving a line item for 2025 with an expense and giving us a negative net income, right? Because we haven't sold any items, but we generated expenses. So if I add this expense, income statement, perfect. Income statement is all blank except for a $10 in expenses for this given calendar year and a negative $10 in net income. Okay, so now if I convert this item to a sale, it will update this transaction, giving us a gross sale here. So if I go date 2025-04-03, this is the moment of truth, boys. Item ID 1, item amount 20, sale platform, Instagram, method shipping 500, commit. Ooh. Database has object no attribute exit. Oh. So this is on line 282 of transactions tab. db.execute. Okay, so we're gonna have to unfortunately try this again. Quit. Relaunch this. App high, run. Okay, now everything's blank. Perfect. Add an inventory item, 2025-04-03, test, size medium, cost 10, add, boom. Nothing in income statement, only in inventory, no transactions, nothing. Perfect. Now if I go expenses, I add an expense, 2025-04-03, test, cost 10, category, equipment, method, cash, add expense, boom. Now we'll have an income statement with a negative net income. Now let's go sell this item so we get a positive net income. So transactions, 2025-04-03, item ID 1, item amount, let's say we sold it for 25 bucks. Instagram shipping 500 and commit, and this should update. No! Ah! Okay, so now we're getting that the item you acquired in our inventory transactions tab is not scriptable because we're doing .fetch 1 index 0. Okay, let's try this one more time. I think this will do it. So if I refresh this, if I call, if I go my business info, delete 2025, call appy and run. Okay, let's add in 2025 0403, test, size medium, cost is 10, add that, nothing happened to transactions or income, perfect. Date for expense 2025 0403, test, cost is 10, category, equipment, cash, add. Okay, that gives us a negative $10 for our net income for a positive 10 on expenses. Hey, what's up, Prex? How's it going? Oh, you're saying, darn, I gotta fail? Yeah. Okay, so now if we go transact, let's transact the item 2025-0403, item ID 1, item amount 25. We sold it on Depop, shipping 500. Come on. Okay, we got the transaction. Now, moment of truth, boys. Moment of truth. What we've been working for all night, right here. Will we have an updated gross sales revenue of $25, an updated transportation gross of $5, and then let's see. Ready? Yes! Yay! Nice. So now let's add in some more items. Test 2, test 1, test 2, add. Now let's transact those items. Number 2, commit. Number 3, commit. Right, if I try to do number 4, it will error, failed. Now we have 20, oh yes! Okay, so look, right, you guys, we have $75 of sales in 2025, right? Right, so income statement, 75, 2025. Total transportation is 15, 0 allowances, 0 fees, 0 discounts. Net sales is 90, 30, 30, 30, 90. Cost of goods sold is 30, 10, 10, 10. Gross margin is 60, which is 90 less 30. Expenses is 10 for 2025, pulling from here. And total net income is $50, dude. Woohoo! This is so cool. All right, so let's test one more thing. Can we add an item from 2024 now? Right, can we add an item from 2024 for $10, right? That doesn't do anything for here. Now, if we add an expense, though, for 2024 for $10, that should update the income statement for a new line. Perfect. There's 2024. And we got that updated. Now, if we transact the 2024 item, which is item number 4, let's transact item number 4 for today. Commit. There it was. Successful. Income statement. No. Why not? It only did it for 2025, not 2024. Let's add in another one. Let's transact that. There it is. Nothing updated, but if I close, it'll update, I think. No, nothing updated still. My years are 2024 and 2025. So in the transactions tab, what are we doing? When we commit a transaction, getting the date of the item. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to say print item year acquired. Okay. And then we're running load all income statements into matrix, and we're creating an income statement for that item year acquired. So if I go apply here, run, still not updating for that, but oh, that went to 125. Oh, so it's counting all the transactions under 2025. But the expense is working. So transactions tab, where am I getting this year from? Item ID. Item date is equal to select all from date purchased from inventory. Item ID equals to this. And I print item year acquired. Checking costs, check duplicates. We convert the status of that item to sold after we sell it. We then load all inventory into the matrix, refresh the matrix of the inventory. We go into the inventory income statement for that year and update it. We will reload the tab. Item year acquired. Okay, let's see here. Let's go. Let's run apply here. I think I have 2025 hard coded somewhere. Not there. Transactions. Income statement. Nothing there. Yeah, Carlos, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I wouldn't have been doing it for the past 2.5 hours here if I didn't enjoy this process here. Thanks for coming in, dude. How's your coding going? Okay, so let's run apply. And let's do another item here, 2024-04-03, test, size, large, cost, medium, add, invalid cost, 15, add, there's that. Nothing's being updated here. So if I transact this, 2025-04-03 3. Item ID is number 6. Sold it for, let's say, 25 bucks. Instagram, shipping, transportation 500, commit. So what are we getting on the print statement here? Let's see. 2024. So it's reading 2024. But it's not updating this. Oh, got you. Okay, I got it. Because the income, the transactions tab, if I look at my schema here in my database here, the transactions table has an ID or a date of a timestamp. So that year is going to be an integer. So let's do this. Let's go here and go inventory, transactions tab. Right, it's not getting a 2024 because it's a string. We need to go here to transactions tab, go down to where we get the year, and we're going to convert this to a stir. Right, now I'm going to go here, clear out all of our information, go to our business and clear out all the previous years, go @pi and run. Right, now if we go 2025 2025-04-03, test size medium cost is 10, add that item. Right, let's add an expense for 2025. Test cost 10, category equipment, cash, add expense. Okay, now we have an income statement for 2025 with a -10 from the expenses. Now if we transact this 2025 item, date 2025-04-03, item number 1, item amount, let's say it was 25 bucks. We sold it on Instagram, shipping 500, commit. Our income statement updates for 2025. Now if we go inventory, we set this to 2024, add the item, that adds it there, right? And now if we add a 2024 expense, we'll get that line item, commit, boom. Oh, that's failed, duplicate. So here, 2024 on the expense, sorry. Add expense. Right now we have an expense included on the 2024 item that was just now populated. And now if we transact item number 2 in 2025, for this item 2 was created though in 2024. So we'll see here, it should populate our income statement for 2024. Ready? Commit. Success. So the inventory tab is getting a date. Okay, this needs to, we gotta stir this year, right? If you're not in, okay, then let's go to the expenses. We're getting a year here. Let's stir this year as well. Okay, if you're, then we're gonna append. Okay, then on transactions, we're stirring the item year acquired and getting that back. So let's go here, clear that out, business info, clear that out. So I go business JSON, 25, 30, test. 2024, those strings are added. We have those in there now. Now let's transact them. Okay, this one comes first. So it might have to do with our loop actually. So let's go to our our income statement. Right, we're saying if all income statement, for every income statement, we're gonna populate it onto Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the comment on Twitch, APUTT. How's it going? That's awesome, dude. You work with some biochem data scientists. That's really cool. Do you have any more info on that you could share? I'm definitely interested in that path too. So why isn't this working though? It's so we're loading those. So if I go to my DB manager class for year in years, gross sale. So if I pass in years, for every year in year, we're going to get information given that year. We then say what the current income statement equal in years. catch all. We convert to years. If year given in this list here, we're going to update so the thing is why is it working for 2025 but not 2024? Building an income statement with the create income statement method, pulling values from different sources and updating and inserting the data into the SQLite database. Oh, for year and years. Current income statement years. Select year from income statement. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Shoot. Well, we're really close to getting this in like a good working order here, but I don't know why it's glitching on me here the last little bit. So if I add in, if I go, let's do a 2024 first. Test, medium, 10. Add, now let's do a 5. Add item. Okay, now let's transact that item. Number 1, 25. Okay, it's not uploading for 2024. It is though for the expenses, which is interesting. Why is it working for the expenses? So if I sold that one, so if I sell then item number 2 for 25 bucks, commit, there it is, there's that. 50 bucks. It's all being thrown on 2025. For year and years. Do I have 2025 on here anywhere? No, I don't. So why is my transactions tab item ID? I worked at an AI startup for 9 years, lots of physics and biochem majors. I worked with some geologists, oceanographers. Nice. That's really cool. Thanks for joining me here, dude. So why is it working for 2025 but not for any other year? Well, let's add like a 2023. So we'll convert item number 3, commit. Nothing. If I reload this, now I have 75 there. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so in the inventory tab, okay, let's check here. In the expenses tab versus the transactions tab, I get a date, right? I get an item ID, item year acquired. Okay, I then take that value. I say I create an income statement off of that item year acquired. So it's database create income statement. So then the income statement off of that year acquired within a list. Select year from income statement, fetch all. Use the current income statement years. So I'll say it is only updating the 2025 year, not the dynamically for all years. So with self.db. Was Hey Ray, how's it going, dude? Why isn't this working? So in the expenses, we're getting a date, to a stir. If this year is not in self.business years, we append the year. Right? We then need to create an income statement given just a list of this year. Oh, so it might be here. So what is my, in my, here, what does my schema look like for the income statement? My year is an integer. Ah, that's where we're getting wrecked. My year is an integer. That's it. That's our bug. Okay, so what I'll do is we give, right, so in the DB Manager class, if year in years, so if the year wait. So our database is saving the income statement table year here. So let me convert this to a int on the year. Right, so if I convert the year to an integer prior, else insert into income statement. So let's leave all of our years as ints actually. Let's just leave them as integers. And let's go into here. Let's get our date. Let's convert our date, our int, to a year. Then let's go to inventory tab. We'll make this an int rather than a stir. Okay. Now we go here and remove this. Go here to here, refresh this, run appy, go here, everything's refreshed. Now if I add in 2025-04-03 test medium 10 add. Okay, now we add in a 2024 add. Okay, now if we go here, okay, those are showing up as integers. Perfect. So then what we'll say is, now we'll transact these items. So let's give a, really quick 2024-04-03 test so we can make sure the expenses are still working. Right, so that will generate 2 income statements with $10 in the expenses. Now let's transact these items. Okay, the item number 1 got transacted, which is 2025. Boom, perfect. Now item number 2. Really? This makes no sense. Okay, so now I'm getting this error. Unique constraint failed income statement year. Ah, this is tough. Why is this happening? So unique constraint failed income statement year. On the income statement. Unique constraint failed income statement year. So we tried to insert into, because the year was in years. Because it wasn't in years. So we're given a year's list where we create an income statement via a certain year. Years. We create income statement. The current income statement years are select year from income statement. Fetch all. Okay, we're converting every year to a stir here. So this is where we need to convert the year to an int. So then that's why it's not saying the years in years, because years is full of stirs. Am I doing this anywhere else? Go to Transactions tab. Stir. So here we're converting to a stir transactions. Stir. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's go here, clear this out, go to our business info, clear this out, @py, run, add in an item 2025-04-03, test, size medium, 10. Add in a 2024, add, now let's transact. Okay, that update for 2025. Did not update for 2024. Why? And then if I exit out, it'll put that on 2025. Which doesn't make any sense. Why it would then throw it onto 2025. Oh, that's so frustrating. We're really close. I just don't know why it's doing this. Okay, in our inventory tab, we're getting the year of the item here, and we're saving that into the business, right? So it's there. Okay. In expenses, we're getting the year in integer, and we're saving it into there. Okay. In transactions, getting a date, converting that to an integer, and then creating an income statement off of that date. So my expenses, I'm creating a year. I'm generating an income statement off of that year. In the income statement, so we need to, for every year in years. So you're building an income statement with the database inserting.
You feel yourself relax.
What is a Kaggle? Okay, so why, I don't know. Why is, so when we, so in my app, right, I can add in more 2025 items. I can sell that item. That updates to 75 live. Now if I do one more, and I sell item number 400. So that's updating live. For every year, so this is a 2025. We're gonna get gross sales for that year. Get this, get this, get this for that year. Get this for that year, get this for that year. Is if the year is in this here, then we'll update execute. We're updating, so it was in there. Else we're gonna insert into.
All you think about day and night is dope. How much you've got, where to get more, what you'll do if you can't get it.
So what happens if I just go like this, actually? Well, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Because It's supposed to be... It's supposed to be updating... Hey, what's up? All right, you guys, I'm gonna have to call it here. My lady friend is here. We're gonna hang out and watch some shows before bed here. I'm gonna keep thinking about this and wondering why it's going wrong for the updating. We're like 99% there, so we're almost done with the income statements here. But I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Thanks so much for being here. Please join my Discord link down below if you want access to all of my resources. I'm also streaming over on YouTube and Twitch. Michael Dems on YouTube. You can join my Discord and get access to everything for free. And yeah, it's a great place to be to hang out. Thanks so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow around 7 p.m. PST.